What's good? Welcome back to my channel, Chrissyy Talks. Y'all can call me Chrissyy. Canceling Netflix. Let's talk about it. So y'all, the other night I watched the Cuties film that's on Netflix. We're gonna talk about it, and 13 minutes into the film, I had to pause it. 16 minutes into the film, bitch, I was out. But then I came back and I was like, you know, I'm doing this video. I need to see this for myself, and I love y'all. Kept on watching it and I was just like, what the fuck does love got to do with it? But I watched the film, and let me speed you guys up for those of you guys who do not know. Hundreds of thousands of people were petitioning to cancel Netflix, which I don't believe is going to happen anytime soon. I already knew it was going to be pretty hard, and a lot of people were not canceling Netflix. I mean, people use Netflix to fuck, like. So people were petitioning for Netflix to be canceled, deleted, whatever the case, because they were showing this French international drama film called Cuties. Now Cuties is surrounding the main character called Ami, who is 11 years old, and according to the details of Netflix, it says that she is rebelling against her family's conservative traits as she falls in love with this free-spirited dance crew. Now it sounds pretty innocent. Y'all, I'm just getting flashbacks of 11-year-old booty and coochie. One thing that I can say that some of us agree on is this movie does have a message. As uncomfortable and cringy and throw up in my mouth, swallow my throat up, and then throw back again type of result that it gave us, I mean, we're talking about it now. Like, it sparked a conversation, and that's what it was supposed to do. It kind of sparked the wrong conversation, but like I said, at the end of the day, there's something to take away from this film. All I'm going to say is the way that it was executed was just a little bit extreme. I'm gonna put a little bit of clips here and there. The person who is the creator or director of the film is 35-year-old French film director and screenwriter Maimoune Ducoré. I apologize if I'm saying that name wrong. Let me say it. Maimoune Ducoré. Gotta add a little French. This movie has won the directing award in World Cinema Dramatic Competition at the Sundance Film Festival because of its message. You know, it was emotional, it was dramatic, it was realistic. And from her perspective, the whole point of this film was to demonstrate the hypersexuality of little girls that comes from social media, and her saying that children need to have time to be children, and we as adults need to give them time to be children.
Our girls see that the more a woman is overly sexualized on social media, the more she is successful. And the children just imitate what they see, trying to achieve the same result without understanding the meaning. This age is amazing because you have all this innocence and naivety, and you interpret the world with all the unlimited imagination that you have at that age. But at the same time, because of our societal structures, children can so easily access a lot of adult material.
The director also said that she's pulling experiences from her life. She actually grew up in Paris and was raised in a Senegalese Muslim household with 9 other siblings. So I just wanted to talk about the director real quick and explain in her words why she created the movie as it was before I talk about what actually happened in the movie. So let's talk about it. So in the beginning, it starts off with Ami having to share a room with her little brother. There's another room in the household that her mom's not letting them sleep in, but that's going to be explained later on. The scene then shifts into a prayer room. Ami's praying with her mom and her aunt and a bunch of other women from that area, and already the aunt is telling her, like, listen bitch, you gotta present yourself in a certain way, you have to obey your husbands, you have to fear God. And then specifically to Amy, she's telling her that she has to do whatever to please her mom. Already they're kind of putting a lot of shit onto her. For an 11-year-old, after this scene is the first time she meets Angelica, who is a part of the Cuties dance crew. Okay, so this was the first time in the film where it's kind of showing some sexuality of the little girls. Like, she's in the laundry room, she's over here dancing to Spanish music, she got the long hair flowing, crop top, tight leather pants. The problem for a lot of scenes in this movie is that they're closing up on the butts, they're closing up on the coochie, they're closing up on the titties, the non-existent mosquito bites. Like, they're focusing on things that we don't have to see. Like, we already see that this girl is dressed a certain type of way and she's dancing and grinding and you know, doing all of this shit. Like, we see it. So it was just one of those things that was unnecessary and extra, where the camera is like following, zooming in and focusing on things that we did not to see. Like, this movie literally made me feel like it was a thirst trap for pedophiles. Like, I'm gonna be honest, even though it's saying something and it has a message to it, that's just how I felt throughout the whole movie. Like, I just felt like, why am I watching this? Like, I feel uncomfortable. Bitch, I get it. What's the point? There's just ways to go about it. Where are her parents? Even though I know she later on says that her parents are too busy and they work and all that stuff, but listen, there's boundaries. So we see Ami copying her and trying to be like her, which is funny because not like off the bat you see that she's getting this influence on social media, but you're seeing her get this influence from other little girls who got that influence from social media. So fast forward, it goes to the school scene, and this is where you see all the cuties together. You know how, this is so dumb, but you know how, like, I guess some schools do this in real life. They like freeze for a couple seconds, because I've seen this before, and they were freezing in the recess yard. The cuties girls get in trouble because they remain freezing while all the other students get back into school. They're not trying to listen to the teacher who's telling them to go back inside, but all the cuties, these girls, they're wearing crop top, booty shorts, short skirts, short tight clothing. They're wearing makeup, lipstick, heels. First of all, okay, in my school, we get in trouble for wearing tank tops. We got in trouble for wearing short shits all the time. You had these 11, like, I'm also looking at the adults in the film who are not really saying anything about this, but who let you outside of the house like that? Because it just looks like these are 11-year-olds trying to be grown. That was another thing that I was thinking throughout this whole movie. Like, they look like they're trying it. Every time they twerked, I thought of a roach getting sprayed by some bug spray. It was trifling and it was traumatizing. So Amy is just trying to be like them. She's over here changing her clothes, trying to, you know, grind and all this stuff. And her mom comes home while she's doing this. She got nowhere to run, so she goes under the bed. This is where we see her mom telling her aunt that her husband, aka Ami's father, has chosen to take in a second wife. Her mom, of course, was feeling a type of way about it, and what's crazy is the room that I mentioned earlier that Ami and her brother weren't allowed to sleep in is the room that was reserved for the dad and his second wife. So this is when you see the mom just crying. She's literally beating herself up. Like, she's literally beating herself. Her mom's breaking down, and the whole time Ami's underneath the bed. And this is also another recurring theme in the movie. Her dad, you know, marrying somebody else, hurting her mom. She wasn't fucking with her dad. She didn't want her dad to be in the house. And of course, things like that will affect you as a kid. I mean, it could affect you in the sense that, like, you're losing stability in the home, so you feel like you have no control, so you do things to wild out to get that sense of control, or maybe lack of control. Or it was the fact that, you know, you have some sort of like daddy issue. You're seeing your dad hurt your mom, and your dad's not in the house, your dad's doing this other thing, like, you know. So regardless, that possibly was a factor of why she was acting up and trying to seek freedom elsewhere. So this is where I reached 13 minutes into the film, and these little girls, I had to stop at this point, but these little girls were play fighting with one of their dogs in the grocery store market. Here's what was disturbing about that is how they were playing. So again, they got the short, tight clothing, which is what they wear throughout the whole fucking movie, basically. The makeup, all that crap. And the way that they're fighting, it's like, ow! I feel so weird doing this because my dad and my nephew's outside this room, but it was like, ow! Like, it was just like very, I don't want to say it, but it was porn-like. That's what it reminded me of when you have girls like in a mud fight or something of the sort, and it's made to look like sexy and playful, and but just, it was just uncomfortable. And they did that throughout the movie, and they did that at unnecessary circumstances. It was just weird. They were giggling, jumping on each other. They were talking about, oh my god, the floor is filthy. Like, it was really just porn-like. Like, that's the best. I'm sure y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm not crazy. Please don't arrest me, but that's how it was to me, at least. After this, Amy was walking home. She's spying on the cuties dancing, and you know, they're dancing provocatively. One of them sees her spying on them, and they're like on a mission to get her. Angelica wasn't there because Angelica turns out, you know, to be her friend in all this. And then they celebrate that they hit her running rock. They're like, oh my god, oh, we hit her, we got, like, it's just so cringy. Like, talking about this is giving me flashbacks and heartburn. Her cousin comes in to help bring some stuff that her dad brought from Senegal, gifts from Senegal, like her dress that she's supposed to wear to his wedding, things like that. He's about to move in with the second wife, so he's bringing some shit back. This is where Ami steals her cousin's phone, and she stole her cousin's phone and it was gone for like days, possibly weeks. I don't know how the cousin didn't know. She's looking at the dress that her dad got her for his wedding, and she's looking at it with disgust. Possibly, one, because the dress is conservative, but also two, she's not fucking with her dad. Back to school, the cuties are bullying her, really just taunting her. They're calling her homeless, which was really offensive and uncomfortable to me. I don't know if it's because she was poor, but like the way that she was dressing, she wasn't dressing like them obviously at this point, and they were saying that she looks homeless. And I mean I know it's like obnoxious and ignorant, and you know, kids are ignorant, it's things that they don't know, but it was just like, alright, you didn't have to call her homeless, but they were just taunting her, just very weird, like again with the with that type of vibe. But then Angelica from the laundromat sticks up for her. This was her kind of ticket way into the dance crew. After this, with the phone that Ami stole, she's taking a picture of herself. She's not using no filter, just a regular camera. She then switches up to another app called You Can Makeup, and she posts a picture with a filter that put makeup on her, and then she posted it on this like Instagram type app. I mean, let's be real, no one takes pictures on a natural camera no more. Everybody taking pictures off filters. If anybody goes missing, we will not be able to find them. A lot of people, including myself, I'm victim to this. I use a Snapchat filter, I move my face and I get scared and traumatized on my real face, on what it really looks like. It's crazy. But again, it was just like, this was an innocent scene where all she did was take a picture of herself. She changed it, put a filter on it, and I understood what the message was from there. Like, there's just a lot of things that did not need it to be in that movie. Like, it just didn't need to go that far. We're gonna fast forward a bit. Ami's recording them dancing, and at first, this was the first part of the movie where I felt 1 second of, okay, these were just kids. Because, you know, they were just like, you know, doing kid stuff. And then the camera focuses on Angelica's butt, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then after this, they're taking a picture to their backside, and this is what they're talking about. Oh, Ami, you got a flat butt. They're making fun of her for not having any curves, any ass. She's 11, so I don't know what they're expecting from an 11-year-old butt. And this causes Ami in the next scene to be looking at all of these people's butts. This was another somewhat innocent scene, just her looking at the butts and not making fun of her butt. Like, okay, I understand, you know, social media is telling these girls that having the big butts look good. Of course, we know today's social media, people praise the ass and titties. I got it. I got that. You didn't have to zoom in on Angelica's butt for me to understand that. You know, sometimes you gotta ask yourself, how do I bring awareness to something without actually showing what it looks like? But again, it's just certain levels to it, and it's just how you do it. Like, that's my main thing of this overall movie. But let's keep on going. A group of guys come to the group of girls, and they're clearly older. Like, they got facial hair, they're taller, they're in high school, and these girls are still in middle school. So these guys are asking her, how old are y'all? All the girls are saying we're 14. Ami says they're 11, which is their real age, and then these guys walk away. But they all get mad at Ami, and they're like, listen, bitch, we are 14 years old. It's like, you know, when your mom's telling you to lie about your age when you go into a restaurant, or say it's your birthday, whatever. Like, it was like, bitch, what are we? We're 14. And it's like, this is just dangerous, because I get that you're showing this type of stuff. It's not for kids, like, this is for adults to watch, which was something else that people were talking about. At the same time, people were just like, why don't you just get older actors to play these younger roles, because they do that all the time in movies. But in the case that a kid does watch this, or a kid is on Netflix and they see Cuties, and I would think that this is a kid movie too. If a kid were to stumble upon this, you're taking down notes that I should shake my butt, I should be seductive, I'm lying to guys about my age now. This also could have just been a film that was appropriate for families to watch, like adult to watch with a child, but you can't even do that in this case to risk a kid actually acting like this, like a kid actually, because majority of this movie you're just getting a lot more of 11-year-old girls dancing and acting crazy versus more of the meaning getting out. You see that because instantly even adults don't understand what's going on. All they're focusing on is the parts that were uncomfortable to watch, or inappropriate. So it's like, I feel like this could have just been presented in a way that you could possibly watch with your child, to talk about, to bring awareness to both the child and adult. I think that would have been a better outcome of this movie. Throughout the movie, Ami's becoming the one who gets a little bit more crazy and more rebellious out of the rest of the girls, and then she's actually bringing more to the table. She's watching these videos of girls twerking, dancing, acting seductive, doing the whole nine, and she's teaching these girls. She's literally teaching these girls. Ooh, deodorant. She's literally teaching these girls how to move their backs, move their butts, like rubbing butts together. I mean, to go back and forth to showing her life with these cuties, hypersexual, but then back to her home, she's over here getting lectured by her aunt to act a certain way. She needs to be a woman this way, which feeds into the director's idea of letting your kids be kids and not telling them this is how you be a woman at 11 years old. One of the main things that the crew is trying to do is to get into this dance competition and win the competition and whatnot. And so later on, while they're still trying to figure out if they made it into the finals or not, they sneak into a laser tag place, they get caught, and they're over here yelling child molester to this grown man who's trying to tell them like, hey, stay here, I'm gonna call your parents. Another manager comes in, and this is when they get the news that they get to the finals, and they're like, oh, we're dancers, we can't get in trouble. And then Ami's like, here, like, I'll show you, what, prove it. And she's literally twerking in front of this older white gentleman. Switch scenes where she's on her phone. The cousin finally finds her with his phone, and when he confronts her about it, she starts to take off her clothes. So I guess she's trying to seduce him in some way. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? Thank the Lord. And she runs to the bathroom with his phone. She takes a picture of her private part and posted it on Instagram. Again, this is just something that we didn't need to see. It was just very weird. It didn't even make sense in the context. Like, you get caught with your cousin's phone and you run away to the bathroom and take a picture of your coochie and upload it. Her mom's upset, hitting her, saying that she'll kill her, and she becomes more aggressive with the Cuties group. They kick her out. It's the day of the competition. Someone who got kicked out of the group earlier in the movie is taking her place. Ami pushes her in the water, so she misses the competition, and this girl almost drowns. And Ami's just watching her. She goes to the dance crew instead of her father's wedding, which is happening at the same time. They're dancing. Thank God the audience is booing, because some people in the audience was like, bitch, what the fuck? She kind of has a breakdown towards the end of the dancing, and I believe it's probably because she realized it was her dad's wedding, and that kind of like, it was just a domino effect of a lot of things that were going on about how she felt about that. She runs home. Her mom actually is more forgiving. Her mom is like, you don't even have to go. She understands. Her aunt is trying to grill her, and her mom's telling her, leave my daughter alone, period, poo. And this ends with the dance outfit being on the bed, her dress that she was supposed to wear for the wedding on the bed, and she goes out. She's wearing a regular shirt with a pair of jeans, and she jumps rope, and that is the end of the movie. So yeah, again, it was just a lot of unnecessary shit that was in the movie. That's how I feel about it. Like, I see the message, and I get that you have to push certain things that people don't want to see and make them uncomfortable. Just the way that it was, like, I got like little pieces from the beginning and the end that made me see the message, but the whole thing in between was just me feeling uncomfortable, cringy, and not even wanting to proceed to watch the movie. So I don't know, I think there should just been a director's note in the beginning, some type of disclaimer, because it would have been important and it would have been nice for the message to have gone out, but it just wasn't even taken that way. I don't think Netflix should be canceled over it, because, you know, Netflix is the platform that actually addresses social shit. So, you know, like, Netflix in their eyes are doing its thing. As far as the movie, I would never watch it again. I wish I haven't watched it at all. I totally got the message. Like, it's like you being on the phone with your mom and you're like, okay, like, okay, I got it the first time, and then she just still feels the need to continue explaining, and it's like, okay, bitch, I got it. The only thing I can say is when I was 11 years old, I had braids. And I swore to the gods up and down that I was never gonna change my hair. I love wearing braids, bitch. I love looking like Cleo from Set It Off, okay? And then I go to school and I see everybody, you know, long wavy hair, long straight hair, curly hair, afros out, and I wanted to be just like them. I wanted to look as pretty as them. I wanted to get the attention they got. So, you know, I could totally understand it. And this was me in middle school, like 6th grade. Totally understand it. I mean, not to this extent, but I'm sure that an 11-year-old, it's not hard for them in this day and age to get into situations as they were in the movie. Will I say that it's realistic? I feel like it's a little bit exaggerated, but again, like, I wouldn't be surprised just the way that, you know, I be in my phone on Instagram and just be seeing naked bitches everywhere. I was 11 years old on Facebook and MySpace. Like, it's really not that hard. The internet is hella accessible. But that is the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down what you guys think below. Did you guys watch the movie? Do you guys think Netflix should be canceled over this? Will you guys watch the movie? What did you guys think about the movie? Comment down what you guys think below. Follow me on Instagram and my Snapchat, Chrissyy, 2 S's 2 Y's. I love and appreciate you guys, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye guys.
She the God, she the God, she the God.